really quickly, I had read about this a long time ago, but I was just reminded of it today because I was reading about it again. Has anyone ever heard of the fixed mindset versus the growth mindset? Yep. Okay. So this has been getting a little traction lately. I think, well, the studies were done a little bit ago. But in any case, a fixed mindset attitude is sort of one in which you think abilities like intelligence are sort of fixed and they can't really be changed. You just have to wait for them to be manifest. And you have a certain level of intelligence or skills, and you're just waiting for those skills to manifest themselves, and if they don't, oh well, you lost the lottery. Not the one that's going on, but you know, the genetic lottery. And then there's the growth mindset, which is I have a certain set of skills, but I can improve them, and I can change them, and I can add to my skill set. And there is lots and lots of research, not just one study, which would be sort of silly because studies can be counteracted by other studies, but lots of studies which show that this is true. So if you have a fixed mindset, you're actually wrong. You can not try. It's good news actually, right? If you think, oh, this is who I am and I'm stuck this way, no, that's not true. You can improve upon your skills dramatically, and a lot of it comes down to what people kind of term as grit, or your ability to persevere in the face of challenges and to continue to try to learn, right? To look at failure as an opportunity to change, not as an indication of who you are inherently, right? Sometimes people think of the LSAT as a assessment of their self-worth. Please, no, don't think of it that way. But in any case, in light of the fact that the growth mindset is actually the correct mindset, or the accurate reflection of reality, I would encourage you to reshape how you might feel about learning, just because a fixed mindset mentality is proven to be incorrect. Now, of course, that might be proven again to be correct in the future, but right now, the best evidence suggests that the growth mindset is the correct and reflective of reality, right? So, when you suck at something, look at that as an opportunity to learn and something that you can get better at and eventually become as good as you want to get at it if you're willing to put in the time. Now, how does that relate to this? When people were being studied who have a fixed mindset, and they were given test questions, right? They were put under an MRI, and they were trying to figure out their brain activity, and they were curious about what was going on. Their brains were firing and so on, until they were told whether the answer that they chose was right or wrong. If they were told that it was right, their mind shut down, and if they were told that they were wrong, their mind shut down. All they wanted to know was whether they got it right or wrong. Growth mindset, on the other hand, when they were told, they were curious as to what was happening, a lot of brain activity, until they were told whether they got it right or wrong, and then the brain activity continued. Even if they got it right, which I think is pretty important, because a lot of times when people get answer choices right, especially on the LSAT, kind of shut down. Like, oh, cool, got this one, good to go. Not necessarily, right? You want to understand, okay, why did I get it right? Did I get a little bit lucky this time? Do I really understand it? Is there something more I can learn here, right? Now, what we're going to do is we're going to take a timed logical reasoning section. What I want you to do is I want you to use your bubble sheet. There are bubble sheets in the back of the blue book, so just go ahead and rip one of those out. It's perforated. And I'm going to time you. If you want to look at an analog watch, you're totally welcome to do so. But here's what's going to happen. I'm going to give you the 35 minutes that you have, right? Some of you, most of you probably will not finish this section. That's okay. Sometimes it's better to go slow and do well than it is to go fast and sort of mess everything up, right? When the time is over, I want you to mark on your test, right? Just right where you are, mark 2 lines, like this. It doesn't matter whether you're done with a question or halfway through a question. You're at answer choice C, that's where I got. That's as far as I got. Now, I'm going to give everyone more time once we're done. Okay? and take that time to finish any of the questions that you did not get to. Some of you will be finished, and you'll be done. That's great. Whenever you do finish, start to go back and check or change the answers that you were debating, right? So if you go back, if you just start looking, usually what happens is I go backwards through the test. So I remember, oh, 22. I was kind of on the fence between A and D. Look at those two answer choices again now, in the absence of time, and ask yourself, do I still think D was correct? What was the reason I chose D over A? Why did I prefer D over A? Yeah, I think that's the right reason. No, shoot, it's not the right reason. It really is A. Change your answer. Do whatever you think you need to do. In other words, what you're going to do is you're going to go to question, say, 14. That was one you were debating. And you're either going to confirm that you got it right, or you're going to say, no, I got it wrong, and write your new answer choice next to it. Right? So you're either confirming that, yeah, I did it right, or no, I think I got it wrong, and I'm going to put A. Then, let's say you felt good about 13, you felt good about 12. I'm not asking you to go back to all the questions. That would take way too long. Just to the ones that you remember having a struggle with. And then say, okay, I struggled with 11, but you know what? I feel good about it now. When I do a section like this, I probably go back to between 5 and 10 questions. And I do this all the time. So if you go back to only one, because you're like, I only struggled with one, I have my doubts. No offense. But I have my doubts as to really whether you're kind of putting yourself through the fire that you should put yourself through. Now you could go back to question 10 and be like, oh, I don't think I was struggling with that, 9, whatever, and then be like 8, and then quickly look at it and be like, oh yeah, I remember this one. No, I think I was right. And that's all your check is. Because you're just trying to remember whether you even struggled with that question. You remember that you got it right, and then you just check it off. That's fine. You're confirming that you got the right answer, right? And you just try to do as many of those as you can. When you're done, you then grade it. Right? If you do this step before this step, it short circuits this whole thing. Once you know you got it right, or you got it wrong, you're like, oh yeah, of course it's A. That makes sense. I mean, maybe you don't say that, and you want to figure out why, and I'm sure that's what most of you are doing. But still, there's a little bit of, you're not putting yourself through the same learning process. Okay? Then, when you finally understand what went wrong, think about that, and then make a plan for the future. What did I do that led me to that answer choice? Oh, I just didn't even know that concept. Now I know it. Oh, I just failed to read the whole question stem. It says accept, and I skipped it. Maybe I'm going to circle accept from now on. Just plan to do something a little bit differently that might help you avoid that mistake in the future. Some mistakes are silly. Some mistakes are big. Doesn't matter what it is. Try to plan for the future. Okay, so 35 minutes, and then I'll give you some more time to do this. Some of you may not get through all of these things because, we're all moving at different paces. That's okay. Just get through as much of them as you can, and then we'll talk about them as a class together. Sound good? All right.